Everybody, welcome to this live after dark. So it will be very dark. You will not be able to see the cards, and I am not turning on my bright ring cam. Okay, so if that's the kind of reading you're looking for, you may need to go elsewhere. Okay, if not, welcome. I wasn't really planning on doing a reading today, as it always is, ends up that way. But here I am. The weather's just a little like breezy, spooky outside almost, and I don't know, the energy is just shifting. So I thought, go ahead and tap into this energy and see what we have going on. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Keep calm and carrying on, right? We've all seen that sign. So keeping it moving. Movement may be very important for you, even like your physical body. Say if the weather is not so great, you know what I mean? It's supposed to be spring, but if it's like yucky outside, do a little extra movement inside your house. You know, maybe you need to exercise indoors versus going outside and exercising, okay? The dog and I had a nice walk today while it was warm out. It's a wee bit sunny. It's nice as well. So you may be recovering from the eclipse. Hopefully there was nothing too much to recover from. But let's see what's going on here. Excuse me. The 10 of Wands. Letting go of all of those troubles as they just flow out of you. Yeah. And giving way to, here, you can see that, this giant heart. Representative of the 10 of Cups. So, to illustrate the point, I'm just going to go ahead and move this over here. So for some of you, you could have been stuck in, shall we say, like, let me count the ways that everyone has wronged me or everyone's been burdening me, right? Like, let me get into this and get into that. And like, you've almost been holding on to it, like you're like, oh, well, this is my cross to bear, right? And everybody has their cross to bear. But this is why you're getting crossed with the 10 of Cups, because you holding on to this, okay, has prevented this from coming in fully. And that's why it's in a crossing position. This wanted to come out in reverse, indicating that you have put down a lot of these burdens so that when this comes in, it's not going to feel like a burden. It's not going to feel like, oh my God, one more thing. Like, what does this person want from me? Okay. Yeah. It's going to be more of a positive exchange versus these very transactional and basic type of relationships that you've been experienced. And I'll also say shallow, okay, relationships. Like, there's not a lot more to them except for, what this person is wanting to get out of the situation and how are they going to get you to cooperate, okay? Whereas here, this is something that's more flowing, okay? It's almost like, yeah, wow, the 2 of Cups. It's almost like you've been waiting to dip your toe in, and that's here in your foundation. You may have felt very insecure about this, though, about your capability, just because maybe you are a single person or have been a single person, or obviously, maybe because you're watching this reading, other relationships, or partnerships of whatever kind just have not worked out. Okay. I'm not saying you've never had success before, but I'm saying this kind of success, especially where people are going to be acting lovingly and kindly towards you and not just saying, hey, come here and fix all my problems, and like you'll barely get a thanks out of it, right? Okay. Yeah, and then you're like, why am I doing all this work again? So that might be your normal versus like, oh wow, this is like kind of a one-on-one, paying attention to each other. Um, I wouldn't say anticipating each other's needs, but okay, I'm not really sure who's typing. I'm not sure if that is the correct Bible passage there, but maybe it is. I don't know. I wasn't referring to one in case anyone is watching the chat. Somebody just typed something about First Corinthians in the chat, but I did not quote anything from that. But the Two of Cups, somebody who's a soulmate to you, somebody who wants to have that flowing type of thing as well, not just a transactional thing. And like here, two people are intertwined, right? And it's like the snakes are there to remind you that when you get too lost, right, then it becomes more about these other people's needs, right? So you still have to remember who you are in this relationship collective, okay? Yes, there is love here for you, but yeah, I think a lot of you might be cautious because of how you've responded in the past. But when this fell out in reverse, it's definitely signaling to me that you have space available, okay? And that you've done a lot of this healing and clearing work already, okay? Not everybody has. You know, some people don't want to admit to things, some people don't want to go to therapy, like, you know, you name it. Here comes the High Priestess. Okay. Yeah, these and this wanted to flip out in reverse. So these people wanted you to be confused about who you are. Okay, and that was kind of like one of the messages that I was getting earlier. I wasn't sure where this is. Sometimes I get these downloads, but I'm not exactly sure how it fits together in the message. And now this is explaining it. Um, because you have a power within you that is very self assured. Okay. So you might think that here you were lacking confidence, right? But really, what happened is all these people saw confidence in you, and that's why their burdens became your burdens. Okay. But the time of that is now ended. Those contracts are done. I did a reading not too long ago about contracts being over. So you might want to go and look at that reading. It's either under the videos tab or the live tab on my channel. Okay. So the high priestess here, you know, not going to be deterred by some 3D fluff. Okay. Um, you know, like the people that want to barricade an entrance to a building, like you just were not going to be deterred. Okay. Um, in terms of saying like you had a job to go do. Okay. And it's because you were called to do it, you're ordained to do it. You know, think about that. You know, and what a slap in the face that would be to the gift giver, you know, that's above all of us here. Okay? If you were to take that and discard it as if it were nothing, like these people wanted you to do. Now, I'm hearing that some of them thought if this happened that they could like somehow scoop it up. I don't know. They might have a little better luck at shoveling shit. Okay. Manure, however you want to call it. Anyway, there's a job for everybody, isn't there? Oh, and away we go. Didn't say I wasn't going to get bitey, but all right. But part of that is it's like, yeah, they were trying to detract you from, it's almost like, okay, all right. I know some of you are familiar with religions around the world. Catholicism is one religion, for example, where people, somewhat live monk like or allegedly monk like existences, like priests and nuns and such. Okay. And it's like, oh, well, that type of person's not supposed to, you know what I mean, be partnered up. Like, they're supposed to be monk like in a monastery or, away in the nunnery. They're not supposed to be experiencing this rapturous event, okay, that has struck up in the collective and now is being, kind of questioned by the energies of some of these people. And that's a part of why this Ten of Cups came in the cross, okay, at a cross to you. Because again, you're just not used to seeing it, all right, kind of like you imagined, because the people that you imagined it with highly disappointed you, and they wanted you to believe, they wanted to gaslight you into believing that you were not seeing the truth for what it was. And you're not going to fool the high priestess. It's just not going to happen. Okay. I guess if you think you're going to get away with it, there's a Dateline NBC or a 48 hours in your near future, right? Think about that. Think about it. Oh, boy. Two of Pentacles. So I feel like collective, some people might have thought that you were putting some financial opportunities ahead of your love interest here, okay? But the truth is that you've been looking for that stability, and that's why you've been, this you've been the old rugged cross here. You've been old reliable, old faithful, coming around at 2 and 10 or whenever the heck, right? On your route, like, oh man, what crap do you have for me today? Like as if it was your job, but it's not. That's, yeah. And that, I'm being told that is what Spirit is here to tell you. Looks like this is your new job now, okay? You have a new assignment. 13:13 on the clock, okay? Baker's dozen. Little one extra for love, right? Okay. And like I said, a lot of you are just, you've not been used to seeing it. So it feels like that's where this Two of Pentacles is here. I'm hearing like the circus type music. It's very like, it feels like, for some of you, it feels like a trick. Okay. The Pisces, the Hangman, wanted to come out in reverse as well. Just funny. So it's kind of like any delays that people thought they had over you in this situation are not really existent. Okay. And with this new moon, anything that you've manifested, when you've been through this eclipse cycle, all right, it's it's marinated, right? And now it's ready to come out of the fridge and go into the oven, right? The collective isn't about half-baked ideas. And again, we know that because starting off with the 10 of Wands, you're the SOB that gets it done, right? Okay. Get on the arc before it's too late. They have a model arc down in I passed by it on one of my road trips. It's down in Kentucky somewhere. I did not stop and go through. I did stop, and you can like pull into the parking lot and ask them, but it's like a 4-hour tour or something, and I was still dry. I was trying to get to my next destination, so I skipped the. But it is massive. It's like several stories high. Yeah. So if that is something that interests you, you may want to check it out. The Wheel of Fortune. Again, I think that people wanted you to be confused about what was coming towards you as if you didn't deserve it, be it love, finances, emotional support, you know, community and friendships. I mean, it's just all sorts of things here. All right. And yeah. Yeah. And especially since you have this Two of Cups in the foundation, and it's like, I almost feel like this, it's like you haven't started feeling those emotions yet. Okay. So, part of this Hangman may be a warning to you that, like, once it starts, it's like really going to be coming. Okay. Like, that's when the wheel's going to take over, and it's just going to be like this whoosh, right? Flowing has been the word, like, did you ever see that PB Herman show, and it's like the word of the day, like, yeah, everybody goes crazy. That was a different era back then. That's when I was growing up, part of television programming, along with Mr. Rogers, by the way. Wouldn't you be my neighbor? 5 of Cups. In the environment, so several people are definitely upset that you're like not upset about losing them. That song, I Can't Stand Losing by The Police, they may be feeling that way. I can't stand losing you. But the thing is, now you're realizing the time you have left, like what you want to do with it and who you want to spend it with. And it's just like not with anybody that's causing you drama or confusion or whatever it is. Or that transactional, you know what I mean? When it's just like, ugh. Like, I remember once, but this was like, I was like secretly planning on like how to kick my ex out because he was abusive. And, it's not like you can just like up and ask a crazy person to leave because they'll like attack you, which he ended up doing. And the police had to remove him anyway. But, he was very transactional in nature. That's why he was in the relationship. And, like he came up to me and was like, he was trying to put on the charm, and I was just kind of like, what do you want? And he just flat out like said what he wanted, and I was just like, no, or I'll think about it or something. It was like a child, like telling a child. And that was just one of those things that solidified that it was like, yeah, I'm not going to spend the rest of my time I have like that. No. And on top of that, like, he had already beaten me up before. Like, so he obviously did not respect me. There was a lot of other things that happened, financial abuse as well, and more emotional, psychological, using my photos on dating apps without permission. Yep. Well, it wasn't just a photo of me. It was a photo of me and a friend of mine that he used to like bait somebody. It's gross. And it really wasn't even a dating app. It was more like a sexting app. Yeah, if we're going to be honest here. Okay. I also tracked where he was going through Uber because we had a shared Uber account. Yeah. But for some reason, he didn't want to tell me why he was at such and such place at 4 a.m. or so-and-so's house that I had never heard of before. again, people that want to like gaslight you to the obvious, right? Okay. And then they think they can still come around and be like, hey, well, yeah, can you, yeah, so can you still, like, I can still live here, right? No. No, you can't, asshole. Okay? It's called I'm done fucking with you now, because you done fucked up. Now go be the bitch that you were born to be because that's what you like to do, right? And you collective were like, I ain't this person's bitch no more. Fuck that. Because this is what I thought I was in for, okay? And it sure didn't turn out that way, right? And again, that's why some of this is crossing you right now. And it's like you're starting to actually experience this with people, okay? Um, and again, it's almost kind of like, you know, Spirit knows that your foundation is solid. That's why the Two of Cups is appearing here in your foundation. I believe it was also the Two of Cups and the King of Cups that bookended one of my previous readings the other day, eclipse related, so that may interest you. If this reading is resonating with you, please hit subscribe, help grow the channel, or like the video. Wow, the 10 of Pentacles. Here in the hopes and fears. So, yeah, collective, if you're concerned that like you have to choose like love or financial stability, no. That's not the case here, okay? I know there's a lot of people that are hoping that they're going to get that with you and then they're going to see that their tactics have failed miserably because you are not just a pawn in their little game of whatever they're trying to accomplish. Whatever that is. I don't even know, you know what I mean? It's hard for me to come up with some of these things, Now, there's the obvious ones, sex, drugs, money, shelter, things of that nature, buying stuff for their kid. Okay? We've all experienced these kinds of stories, right? And then it's like, oh, well, yeah, I would love to help, right? Okay. And a lot of people thought you were going to be helping them and that they were going to cash in at the same time. And they are in for a rude ass awakening. It's one of those things like, you pull up to the building the next day and the badge don't work, okay? It's like it's kind of like that from an energetic standpoint, okay? I don't think you collective are going to be dragged down by this, and you might even start to feel guilty that as you see these people's karma play out, that you're like, again, you might have that feeling of like, oh, should I help them? But I just want you to go back to if you did help that person, did they ever like, I'm not saying you're supposed to do stuff to get stuff in return, but after a while, it's just kind of like, all right, what's the point of this relationship? And sometimes it's like people they just want to test you. They just want to see if you can and waste your time, right? That's their agenda to get you spinning your wheels on something that isn't for your highest good, okay? So again, some of this love that's been coming towards you in the past hasn't looked quite right. And that's why, some of that's been crossing as well. Okay. But get out of, their perception and back into where that high priestess mode if you're feeling confused about it, okay? There's also a saying in one of the Grateful Dead songs, if you get confused, listen to the music play, okay? My goodness, is my dog really whining? Maybe she's got this. All right, what is one last message that we have here for the outcome on this Celtic Cross, please, for the collective? This is a very powerful reading that's come through. So not only have you overcome a lot, but you're looking forward to a lot. And that again could be some of this pull, right? Oh my God. Karma is a bitch, isn't it? Justice. For some people, this is courtroom justice. Okay? I'm serious. You can only outrun the law so long. Okay? And the thing is, too, is, rap sheets don't go away necessarily. All right? Okay. Yeah, somebody that thought they were real hot shit thought they were going to get one over on you like almost one last time, and they're finding out that it's not so easy. And they're kind of finding out, yeah, I don't want, yeah. All right, I'm being told to leave it there. Okay. Let's leave you with a few light worker energy cards, please. Some oracle cards for the collective. Running up about 30 minutes on this reading anyway here pretty soon. Pretty in-depth reading. So you may want to go back and check out the first part. If you missed any of this, it will be available on replay under the live tab. And while you're at it, please subscribe or like the video. And as always, if you would like information about a private reading or would like to donate to the channel, or if you would like to enjoy some of my music that I have specifically written myself and performed, you can enjoy that on the link to my other channel. Deep replenishment. Repeat, rest, be held. So, again, this love that you're encountering is going to be a place of physical safety as well as emotional safety, being held. Maybe previous partners did not want to do that with you, like being held. Like maybe they were very avoidant in nature. Maybe they made you feel like asking for those things was silly or that your needs of that was not important. And again, that is them trying to gaslight you into, accepting their version of normal, right? And, in some cases, their version of normal is literally throwing their girlfriend around the house and not caring if she gets hurt. Okay? Let's use some common sense, right? There's also people in the community that might not like you talking about it, being so open about it. But there are people in the community, though, that are going to be safe to be around, okay? And some of these new connections that you've been making, these people understand how to see kind of like your spirit and the goodness of your soul, okay? That's part of the reward that you've been gifted, is that some of these people that you're now going to be interacting with, you don't have to question their loyalty, their integrity, how they view you, because they're not going to treat you like crapola like some of these other people have done and expected you to buy it when the whole time you had more knowledge than any of them put together, perhaps in your little pinky nail, right? Marinate on that. Right. Fry them up. I'm telling you, karmic justice is served. Fry them up. If you can't stand the kitchen, right? If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. I think I'm starting to get tired at the end of this reading. It's late anyway, and I really wasn't planning on doing this. So, yeah, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. That's kind of the word here, because baby, you are on fire. You are not being stopped. you're you're getting, the dreams coming true part. It's starting to now come true. And nobody else is in control of that except you, collective. Okay, it's between you and the universe, right? Okay. um it's not between you and your pastor. It's not between you and some professor at your school. Okay. It is, you know about tapping into, again, what you understand your purpose to be. Okay. So for some of you, aside from this high priestess energy, you may have had some interactions, maybe even with a reader who has helped you confirm what your purpose is, or maybe you took some time off from a job or had some counseling or something like that, and you're like, wow, like I really, maybe you like to paint, and you're like, wow, I just really like to paint. Maybe that's what maybe that's become part of your purpose now. Okay. Birthing a new age. Sorry, it's super dark in here. Birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. What did I say? Dreams coming true. So, yeah, for a lot of you, this world, this loving world, is a very new world, because, you know, a lot of us experience pain during our lifetimes, and it's not pleasant, is it? Right? And that's when we start to feel like, the old grumpy mule, the old pack mule. Like, what are they going to do to me next? They already got me loaded up, and now they got to whip me too as I'm going down the fucking road. So, yeah. See this like a little bubble here? This is the universe protecting you and watching you here and saying, I got you. You're safe in this zone to create what you need to create. You just stay on this path, and I'm going to help take care of the rest. Okay? You know? And part of that here too with this 2 of Cups is you start coming closer to your soulmate and whoever you need to be kind of around, right? It's like those people are going to have your back as well. Again, like you thought that other people did, but really they didn't in the past, so much so that they thought you were going to throw away the gift of being a high priestess, or being able to understand what a high priestess is telling you, right? Okay. Have you ever been around, like, okay, they say college isn't for everybody, but there are people that want to go to college. Maybe they just can't afford it. Does that mean it's not meant for them? No. That's silly. Okay. But some people actually believe, like, in an entitlement ruling type class that, like, you know. Anyway, yeah. That's another reading for some real karmic assholes. Anyway, Um, Imrama. Oh, yes. Where are you being called to journey to? Okay. So I mentioned movement at the beginning of this reading. So I feel like that's going to be important for you as you perhaps prepare for more journeying if you have not already. Okay. And for some of you, this could be, um, you know, spending time with this loved one here. Okay. Again, creating this space where you can invite somebody in, right? And be okay with that, right? You ever invite somebody to your house and then you later realize, wow, that was a mistake, right? Okay, let's get one more, please, for this collective. I'm getting some heavy Eight of Wands energy. Again, that Hangman wanted to come out in reverse. So I feel like any type of thing that you feel like has been on hold, it's really not. There's been a lot of things happening in the background. It's just like you've not been able to see it. Okay. Keepers of the earth. And it says here, you are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. Yes, protectors in the realm, your guardian angels, your ancestors. Okay. Some people be like, well, I don't understand what that means. Like, I don't know. Well, did you ever have a special bond with one of your relatives? Maybe you had a special bond with your grandmother or your grandfather. Okay. That's the kind of thing that um, some people easily talk about with reverence, and others of us think about in different ways, and it helps us to make decisions. Okay. It's kind of like if you're looking in the fridge and maybe you'd be like, oh, I have no idea what I'm going to make for dinner. And just be like, well, what would grandma do? Okay. She'd be like, well, what do you got in there, sis or hun or whatever, however your conversation goes. All right. Um, my grandmother never called me sis or hun, so I don't really know who that's for. But you get the point, okay? And again, this is going to be deeper than those transactional things that have kind of, I think that's part of what's been in this delay for you, is that it has just seemed so shallow, the people that you've run across, okay, when trying to develop some of these relationships, that some of you have lost faith in the situation, okay? But really, it's just you're not losing faith. You're releasing the faith you had in certain people, and you're reserving your faith for people that are now showing up in your foundation because the time is right now. So, yes, like sands through the hourglass, these are the days of our lives. Okay. All right. I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this message. Again, please subscribe to help grow the channel so I can get some members only readings going, some extendeds, and things of that nature for you guys. Make it a little bit more interactive channel. So if you would like that, please subscribe, like the video, and if you don't want to miss anything, hit the notification bell and you'll be notified of every single video drop as soon as it is technologically uploaded and processed through YouTube's magic gizmos behind the scenes, right? Oh boy. So glad I don't have to do this over dial up. Anyway. Only a certain generation of people will get that joke. Anyway, until next time, please manifest wisely. Bye bye.